Good afternoon. Just kicking back after work. Today I am smoking some Haunted Bookshop, which I just got restocked. Good burley Virginia, mostly burley blend. Just went out. I've been wanting one for a long time, but I just went out and bought myself a Zippo lighter. Just love the sound. Classic. It's a very windy day. It's been windy for a few days. I can't get my regular Bic lighter to work too well, so I figured these are supposed to be windproof. How windproof are they? Fairly, you know? I hear people say all the time, oh, you shouldn't light your pipe with a Zippo because of the fumes. Like, okay, like, maybe, I guess. I mean, I haven't personally. I smoked a couple bowls with the Zippo. Like, I don't know, I don't taste anything. But maybe if your palate is a lot more honed than mine, or if you're more sensitive to the taste of the lighter fluid, you know, maybe you could taste it. It doesn't affect it all that much for me, so worth it. You know, worth it for me. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about relationships and about, I've just been thinking lately about the masculine responsibility in a relationship. Like, what does it look like to be a man in a relationship? You know, I believe that men are called to be leaders in their relationship. I believe that men are called to be strong, but also gentle, compassionate, loving, and sensitive. And I believe that those things can't happen with any sort of effectiveness if the man is not confident in his leadership capabilities. You know, and if the woman in the relationship is not able to let the man be confident in his leadership abilities, I don't believe that they are going to have a happy relationship. You know? And, you know, I don't mean that the man's word is law. You know, I don't act that way myself, where my word is all that matters, and if it's not my way, it's the highway, and you have to do everything I say exactly how I say. You know, I don't believe that, but I do believe that when a man says something, he needs to be able to follow through. You know, like if I say, look, honey, we can't discuss this right now. We have to wait until a better time. And then cave and talk about it anyway. You know, that doesn't do anybody any good, because there's a reason why I don't think the conversation should happen right now. For whatever reason, you know. And me going back on what I said, it just proves that I'm not confident. It shows that I am willing to be pushed around by my wife, you know, and just let her run the relationship, essentially. And a lot of men do that, for fear of upsetting their significant other. Because we would rather have perceived peace. We would rather avoid conflict, essentially, than stand our ground on things. And I think that is severely detrimental. It's Adam in the Garden of Eden, where Eve is tempted by Satan. He hands her this apple and says, "Here, eat this." And she eats it, and then hands it to Adam and says, "Here, you eat some." And instead of saying, "No, I'm not going to do that because I don't believe it's right," he gives in to her. He abandons the principles of right and wrong. He goes back on his own beliefs in order to appease his wife. And that's just a pattern that has carried down from generation to generation to generation to generation. Men sacrifice their own principle in order to appease a woman, instead of standing up for their principles and both people emerging better from the situation. Like if Adam had said, "No, I refuse to go back on my beliefs. I refuse to disobey God because it's not right." Who knows what would have happened. But he didn't. He also stood there and let Eve be tempted by Satan. He was standing right there. It's not like he didn't know what was happening. He sat there and watched her fall because he didn't want conflict. He was more afraid of Eve than he was of God, essentially. He was more afraid of upsetting his wife than he was willing to stand firm in his own masculinity, essentially. And that was the initial fall of man. The fall of man didn't start when Adam took a bite of the apple. That's not what happened. The fall of man started when Adam sat there and watched Eve be tempted, because in that moment he abandoned his masculinity. He allowed himself to become weak. And that is a pattern that has stayed with us until the present day, of men refusing to cause any sort of conflict with their woman, And even if you don't believe the story of Adam and Eve, that still shows, it's still an illustration for where men are at today. It's... And I don't have really a solution to this problem on a large scale, except for men need to be willing to be men. Men need to be firm in themselves. Men need to be confident. If I say something, I need to do it. I need to follow through. If I say, for example, I'm not gonna, I have a morning routine where I wake up, brew a cup of coffee, sit out on the porch, have a pipe, read my Bible, drink my coffee. And that is what I do every single morning. And, you know, it's something that I believe is very important to being able to go into my day-to-day, you know. And, you know, if my wife says, you know, what, you're gonna do that instead of sit with me and talk to me before I leave for work? Or before you leave for work? And I say, yes, I'm gonna do that, because at the end of the day, I believe that it allows me to be more patient, sensitive, kind. It gets a good start on my day, you know. So I think it's more healthy for us in the long run that I do this now, instead of jumping into all these deep conversational topics right away first thing in the morning, you know. And then she, you know, throws a fit about it. And if I cave and say, yeah, no, don't be mad, I'm okay, I'll do whatever you say, just don't be mad, you know. That's me abandoning my principle, essentially. That's me going back on my word. And as a man, going back on my word, it emasculates me, basically. I'm allowing myself to be weak. I am choosing weakness. And I guess I don't know where I'm going with this today. I guess, why do we, as men, allow ourselves to be made weak? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Why do we allow ourselves to be made weak? So that's what I'm thinking about today. Don't really have any insight or any conclusions. Just thinking about that this morning, this evening, this afternoon, whatever. But anyway, I hope you have an enjoyable evening. Thank you for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Have a great day.